my name is Sana and I'm a grade 12 student from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and this past year I applied to 5 different universities for their science and business programs. So I'm making this video today because I've seen a bunch of Americans talking about the colleges they're going to and their decision, and I see often people do it with cupcakes. I'm doing it with cookies because in my humble opinion, cookies are better than cupcakes. Also, I just want to show some Canadian pride, you know? Let's talk about our beautiful and amazing Canadian universities too. Okay, so before we dive in, let me just talk to you about the different programs I applied in these universities. So for UBC, I applied for their science program and also their Master of Management. For Western, I applied for Ivey and their health science program. For McMaster, I applied for their life science. For Queens, I also applied for their life science. And for McGill, I applied for both their business and their biology-esque science one. Without further ado, let's get started. Okay. So, the reason why I applied for both science and business is because your girl is very indecisive, but the university that I first chose to eliminate was actually McMaster. And that's because come March, I actually discovered that I didn't want to pursue just a science program. And I know a lot of people love McMaster. I don't think it's personally for me. It's also really close to my home and I want to get a bit further away. And I know McMaster is also on the smaller side of campuses, and that is just not what I personally think I'm wanting. So yeah, these are the main reasons why I eliminated McMaster, but it's still a great choice for many. Okay, so along the same lines, the reason why I eliminated Queens next was because I only applied for their life science program, and as I mentioned, I realized I didn't want to pursue just science, and also I know this is situated in Kingston, and I know a lot of people don't particularly love Kingston because it's once again on the smaller side. It really goes down to preferences, everyone. Like, do you want a smaller campus or a bigger campus? So because of a combination of those two factors, I realized Queens was not for me. Okay, and then there was 3. Okay, so I really struggled with these 3 decisions, I think the most, just choosing which one. But I actually chose to eliminate McGill next. Okay, so this was a really hard decision. So I really loved McGill because it's a beautiful campus. I've seen so many YouTube videos of people going to McGill, and it honestly looks so fun, but also it has a very good reputation. And I mean, who doesn't love Montreal? It's such a nice city, and everyone speaks French, and I personally like that because I just like the French language. I think it's so sophisticated and it sounds so cool. Ooh, it's also relatively cheaper, and because I have the IB diploma, or will be obtaining it, I could actually graduate from here in 3 years instead of 4. So that was another big plus for me. But at the end of the day, I didn't want to lock myself into just business or just science, knowing how wishy-washy I am. Also, I just knew future job prospect wise that wasn't as fantastic at McGill if you wanted to pursue business. Another big factor is how cold it is. I'm not fond of the cold, so that was another big reason why I didn't want to go. Yeah, it was a hard decision. It's a great school. Now this was so hard to choose from. Okay, let me give you like a quick rundown of the pros and cons. At the end of the day, I decided I would rather do a dual program at any university that I go to. So if I went to UBC, I would do science plus Master of Management. And if I went to Western, I would do health science and the Ivey program. So let me tell you a bit about both. So for UBC, I could get my dual degree program in 4.5 years, and for Western, it would be 5. The good thing about Western is that I didn't have to complete a full bachelor of, let's say, health science if I decided I hated it and I could just say, screw this, I'm going to business. But for UBC, you would have to finish the major you have before being able to complete the Master of Management portion. And at that point in the year, I was just so confused. I literally having an identity crisis. I didn't even know if I wanted science, even though I had wanted science my entire life. So that's that. Some great things about UBC. One, it's in British Columbia, so the weather is amazing there. Generally, it's very temperate, so it doesn't get really hot or really cold. And also, when you're at that university, you live right next to a beach, which, I mean, self-explanatory. Also, I did virtual tours of it. I didn't actually get to see any of these universities, but it's so beautiful at UBC. Oh my. And yeah, overall, it's really highly ranked as well. Pros of Western is that it has a very high reputation, especially their Ivy business program. I know that it is also pretty. I'm not sure if it rivals UBC because I haven't actually seen either of them. Another benefit for Western is that I know it has great internship programs, and the likelihood of getting a job right after university is pretty high. And like I mentioned, I like how much more electives you have, and essentially since it's health science as well, I don't have to take the physics and the math requirements that I would have to if I take science at UBC. So overall, I think with the health science degree, even in the first 2 years, I would enjoy it more. And lastly, there is a case-based method to Western. With that being said, at the end of the day, I chose to remove UBC. Okay, so I chose to remove UBC, and this was a very hard decision, mostly because my ego loved hearing masters in management. I mean, who doesn't want to get a master's, I guess? But yeah, that letting go of that was pretty hard for me. But at the end of the day, I'm not sure if I want a full degree in science. And if I went to UBC for the program that I wanted, I would have to take that. And I don't want to lock myself in like that quite yet. And that was the main reason why I had to eliminate UBC. Also, a lot of people recommended Western to me. So, yes, the university that I'll be going to for September 2021 is Western. Whoop whoop. And I mean, it is a quite chocolate chippy cookie. Let me tell you, I never envisioned myself going to Western, like ever. In grade 11, I desperately wanted to go to McGill. In grade 12, at the beginning, I desperately wanted to go to UBC. Never Western, but it was like an underdog who made its way through. And yeah, honestly, just hearing about it all throughout high school, about the party life, it ultimately scared me, and that was the reason why I didn't consider it before. But knowing the prestige of the program and just the way the program is structured, I think as of this moment that this university would be best for me. Just letting you guys know, I did mentally break down while trying to make this decision. It all seems like smiles, but I really struggled choosing because I wanted to make the right choice. And I wish you guys the best of luck when making your decisions, or when you have made your decisions, depending on when you're watching this. So expect to see more university related content, and thank you guys so much for watching. And please remember to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already, because it helps with the algorithm and it also helps feed my ego. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.